You said earlier that you thought the Drake and the Kendrick beef was good.
Yeah.
For who?
Tony Yayo speaks about real hip-hop and somewhat disses Sexy Red. Let's talk about it. This is Fresh Hip-Hop Opinion with your guy Oleezeh. Don't forget to subscribe. So yes, Tony Yayo, 50 Cent's most loyal soldier in G-Unit, kinda always played the background. He wasn't as popular as other G-Unit members like The Game or Young Buck and Lloyd Banks, but still a very valuable member of the group. Recently, Yayo's been more present in front of the camera, speaking on topics, a regular, for example, on DJ Vlad, but also making a lot of guest appearances on other podcasts and hip-hop shows. And recently, Tony Yayo was on Shannon Sharpe's show, Club Shay Shay, and he was speaking about hip-hop, in particular, battling in reference to Drake and Kendrick. Check out the clip.
You said earlier that you thought the Drake and the Kendrick beef was good.
Yeah.
For who? For hip hop? For Kendrick?
I think it was good for hip hop because at that point, all we was listening to was Sexy Red. I come off of battle rap. KRS-One, MC Shan.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
BDP.
Nas.
Yep.
Ether versus Jay-Z.
Yep.
Big time hip hop. 50,
Tupac.
50 Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Tupac, Machiavelli, this and Diddy, this and Jay. He even did Prodigy.
LL
Daz.
Cool D.
Remember we had LA, they had New York, Dog Pound had New York, and Big City of Dreams. Second round knockout, Cannabis came and won. LL was working. That was hip hop. I'm not gonna sit here and not say I didn't listen to Machiavelli.
Yeah. But
I'm definitely listening to Biggie Who Shot You. Biggie and Pac beef, I think that was entertainment for the world at that point. Let's act like we didn't like that battle, and let's act like magazines and publications. What we had back then, Vibes, Source.
Yeah.
Come on, New York, LA, West Coast beef, East Coast, West Coast. Let's act like, come on, bro.
Yeah, fam. So Tony Yayo, no stranger to hip hop beef, decided to weigh in about what he likes in hip hop. He was saying the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was great for hip-hop. And Shannon Sharpe said why? He said because all he was hearing in the club prior to that was Miss Sexy Red. And listen, I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Sexy Red fan either. So I know what Yayo means when he says it was great for hip-hop that Drake and Kendrick went at it. Because at the end of the day, it brought out great hip-hop music, bars. I mean, for Drake, we don't know who was writing it, but you know, it was still bars. I mean, I personally didn't rate this beef at one of my best in hip-hop history because I think it just got a bit too personal. It became less about the lyrics and more about what salacious things you could say about each other. Like Kendrick was saying that Drake had a hidden daughter. That daughter hasn't come out yet. Drake was saying Kendrick was DVing his wife or his lady, and those reports seem to be unfounded too. But what other beefs did Tony Yayo speak about? Legendary hip-hop beefs. Obviously, G-Unit had their fair share, and the main one was against Ja Rule, 50 Cent. Classic beef. It never really crossed the line that Drake and Kendrick did, in my opinion. And obviously, we know 50 and Ja Rule still throwing little jabs at each other in their tender age of like 50 years old. But this was probably the first real street beef we've seen in hip-hop since the whole Tupac and Biggie one. Because the one before this was Jay-Z and Nas. This was taking hip-hop back to just being lyrical. Jay-Z put a song out, Nas put a song out. They do their little subliminals in their songs, and that was it. Yeah, Jay-Z went over the line with Super Ugly. He made an apology. But overall, that beef was about lyrics. That's why people say it's the greatest rap beef of all time. It went back to the music. It was funny when Shannon Sharpe did say LL Cool J and Fab had a beef. But he corrected that straight away. And what he meant was LL Cool J and Cannabis. Yeah, this was a good one too. I mean, overall, LL Cool J came up on top on this beef because he was the bigger artist. Cannabis was just a new artist at the time. So to go after LL Cool J in this was at 98, 99, that was a crazy move from Cannabis, which pretty much ended his career before it can really take off. I don't even remember any big Cannabis song, a solo song at all. Everything he did was pretty much features. But in terms of lyrics, again, that second round knockout, like Yayo said, was classic. One of my favorite diss songs of all time. Yayo did mention Dog Pound and Mobb Deep because Dog Pound with Snoop and Daz and them did their song New York, New York where they were kicking down the buildings. I think Snoop and them later on said it wasn't a diss song, they were paying homage to New York, but Mobb Deep didn't take it that way and did their song LA LA, which definitely no hiding that was an actual diss song to the West Coast or certain artists in the West. Then you got the old school ones, guys, MC Shan and KRS-One. When hip hop was in its infancy, KRS-One of course coming up on top here, but before Jay-Z and Nas, this probably was the most famous hip hop beef of all time. That was actually a lyrical beef. MC Shan did his thing and then KRS-One came and just basically destroyed him. But as much as I say KRS-One and MC Shan was the biggest rap beef before Nas and Jay-Z, of course Biggie and Tupac on paper was known as the biggest rap beef, but because this was really not really on wax, Tupac had hit him up and made a few references in songs, but Biggie wasn't really responding. So in terms of a hip hop beef, it really isn't the biggest hip hop beef because there's not one big Biggie song that came up against one big Tupac song. Even though Biggie shot a few subliminals and some freestyles, in terms of a hip hop battle, it didn't really take off where you wanted to take off, and that's in the music. It was very one-sided. But to go back what Tony Yayo was saying, the Drake and Kendrick beef was good for hip hop. Anyone of a certain age would definitely agree with him. In an era where hip hop music has really lost a lot of substance, it's kind of gravitated away from the lyrical days of the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s. Yayo saying that the Drake and Kendrick beef was good for hip hop is very true. It made the whole culture look at lyrics again. The only shame about that situation is their beef, where we're looking at lyrics again, it didn't birth a whole bunch of rappers that were being lyrical. After their beef ended, it just went back to normal, doing a lot of microwave hip hop again. And I feel like that's a shame, because when you look at Tupac and Biggie, their beef kind of, as much as it was a sad day in hip hop, everyone to do thug life like Tupac, because that was the impact that beef had. You look at 50 and Ja, after 50 dissed and demolished Ja Rule, everyone was trying to do what 50 was doing. And it's the same with any trend that starts in hip hop, everyone starts doing it. So it was just a shame that two big giants in hip hop at that time, Kendrick and Drake, go at it, it's lyrical, it's competitive. It didn't birth a whole renaissance of lyrical rappers. So as much as it was good for hip hop, it didn't really influence hip hop to the point where it changed the whole landscape. But that's just my opinion. I want to know yours. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And for less than $3 a month, you can become a member of the channel. Exclusive content just for you. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.